Happy to be joined by Coach Hue Jackson with Grambling State. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
Coach, as always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Obviously, we know you're there in Dallas for the State Fair Classic press conference, so we do appreciate the time. Coach, if you would, please start us out with an opening statement about your team's most recent outing versus Bethune Cookman.
Well, obviously, we were disappointing in the outcome. We didn't play as well, and obviously, Bethune Cookman, I thought, played extremely well that day. But I thought I saw some improvement in our football team just overall. I think we're heading in the right direction. There's still some things where we're working through each and every day, but I think we're building. And I think our guys are starting to truly get and understand the environment that I'm creating for them. And I think we're looking forward to playing again this week in the State Fair Classic.
Appreciate those comments, Coach Jackson. First question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
How you doing, Coach?
Good, doing great.
Yeah, so the first half of the season, you guys have got off the strong starts in the first half, but kind of tapered off a bit in the second half of games. Have you identified, or your staff identified, the reasons for those struggles in the second half?
Oh, absolutely. I think, again, we need to just continue to execute at a high level. At times, we've had some things there, especially last week, that we didn't capitalize on. I'm sure if anybody watched the tape, they would say, wow, they had some chances. We can't turn the ball over. Obviously, we've had an issue with penalties all year. So we got to continue to do the things to stop doing the things that stop us from being successful week in and week out.
Okay, as a quick follow-up to that question, the offense has only scored 13 points in the second half this season. What are you guys looking to do in order to try to increase the productivity from that side of the ball?
No doubt. I think what we got to do is just kind of what I just mentioned. You know, we got to make those plays when they're there. For whatever reason, it seems like it's gotten a little harder to make those plays in the second half when they're showing themselves. And so the quarterback got to do a great job of taking care of the ball. We got to catch it better. And again, we got to stay away from this penalty issue that's plagued us all year.
All right, thank you.
Next question goes to Matt Bielenson.
Morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Doing great.
I want to talk to you about Devontae Kincaid. You know, I was talking to him earlier this week and learned a lot about kind of his journey to Grambling and the hiring process of kind of why you selected him for the job. And I want to take you back to maybe what you remember about when you hired him. He said that you guys possibly met at a coaching convention and he gave like a detailed PowerPoint presentation or something like that. Just kind of walk me through, I guess, the first time you interacted with him.
No, absolutely. Well, I knew about Devontae way before the clinic. Obviously, he was the last quarterback one at Grambling. And so he's been talked about in several circles that I've been in. But to see him present about quarterback play reminded me of myself when I was young and hungry and coming up and eager and wanting to learn more and grow more. So I saw a guy, I should say, that I could kind of groom and put into a position at a school that he's very passionate about, with some quarterbacks that were young and wanted an opportunity to grow and learn. And it's been great ever since.
You mentioned his work ethic there. That's something that has really stood out. Have you seen someone just throughout your time coaching at multiple different levels with that level of work ethic where, you know, he's been at multiple different stops in his career playing and coaching? I mean, have you seen someone with that level of work ethic?
I mean, there's all kind of guys, you know, who have been in those type of environments and situations where they've come from different walks of life or different opportunities to try to become a big-time college coach or a big-time NFL coach. So, yes, I have. And he has those characteristics.
All right. Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and the G-Man are well. Can you talk a little bit about playing in classics? HBCU games play a lot of classics. This time, you're in Dallas. You talk about the Cotton Bowl and the State Fair Classic, Prairie View, and what this experience is like so far going in.
Well, it's been great. I mean, it's a little different than what I've been accustomed to, because obviously you have to be here for press conferences and you rather be, you know, preparing for the game with your staff. But I understand it's a big deal, and it should be, because it's two really great programs that's going to get a chance to compete against each other. Prairie View is leading our conference right now, and we got a chance and opportunity this Saturday to come in and play some great football and reclaim what we think is ours. So again, I love it. I'm learning more about these classics, you know, as we go through, because we played in a couple of them now. And they're really important, and I think they're really special as well.
Coach Jackson, HBCU football, a lot of guys are coming home, so to speak, yourself, Coach Prime, Mr. George, and so on and so forth from coaching. And then also a lot of players are playing HBCU ball as opposed to Power 5. Can you just talk about guys coming home, so to speak? Back in the day, there was Doug and Shaq. Guys went HBCU, but then we saw a trend where they went Power 5. Now guys are coming home. What are your impressions?
I think they are coming home, and welcome home, because I think this is where it all started. And I think Dion, Eddie, myself, Coach McDowell, who I was just here with, several other coaches, Coach Simmons, Coach Maynard. These guys are tremendous football coaches. And I think the players are now seeing an opportunity for them to go play in their backyards at great institutions, earn a college degree, do something worthwhile with their lives, and get a great football experience. So there's no question. I think players are seeing this as a real viable option. It's not just about the Power 5. And I think the more that we can do from a media standpoint to really push that there are tremendous opportunities there, I think there's more players that will come.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
You too.
Last question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Dr. Cavill with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach Jackson, when you talk about the penalties and not being able to score as much on the second half, how challenging is to go into a program and set the culture for foundation about playing all the way through, understanding the history of a program, obviously with the decision to remove the G? How does it all come together in terms of setting what you see as a culture that allow for success moving forward?
Well, I think it all starts, let's just be very transparent, with discipline. And I think it's discipline, not just on the football field, but off the football field. And I think the great players that have come before the young men that are there today that wore that G on their helmet, that those guys set a standard. There's a standard that you have to live up to as a Grambling State University football player. And we want to uphold that and make it even greater. And I think it's so important that we all understand the history and tradition of Grambling State University, that G does stand for greatness. And so I think it's something that you earn. I don't think it's given. I think you earn it. And I think you earn it as a football team. I think when we're doing what we should be doing, both, on the field, off the field, how we go about our business, then we can really say that we're representing the university the right way. But these young men get it. I have not had one player question me about it. They want to do everything they can to earn the right to wear that G and wear it the right way. And I think that's satisfying for me.
In terms of this Prairie View matchup, what do you see them getting done on the various sides of the ball?
Prairie View is an extremely good football team. I think Coach McDowell's done a great job. They're playing really aggressively defensively. They fly around. They make plays on their defense. They make plays on their offense. They're not a team. They're a well-disciplined team. They don't get a ton of penalties. They don't turn the ball over. So they've done some really good things, early in this season. And again, we got to go play our best football this week to have an opportunity to beat them.
Thank you, Coach Jackson.
Thank you.
Coach Jackson, as always, we appreciate your time. We look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.